So item 4.4 on the agenda is to give bylaw number 11252 first reading in order to rezone the subject property located at 2420 Abbott Street to facilitate the construction of a second dwelling.
Moved by Councillor Given, seconded by Councillor Hodge, that bylaw number 11,252 be read a first time.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. So that too will move on to public hearing. Now we move on to item 4.5 on the agenda for the properties located at 451 and 455 Lawrence Avenue. This is development permit 16-0079. Bricks and Mortar Holdings Limited is the applicant, and this is to consider the form and character of a new commercial building on the subject property. But before I get to the staff report, I must go to Councillor Sieben.
Thank you, Worship. Unfortunately, I have to declare conflict on this item as the owner is a client of my day job whose file I've recently been working on.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll wait for Councillor Sieben to leave council chamber. Thank you, Councillor Sieben. Terry, over to you.
Thank you, Your Worship. The development process for this application is relatively straightforward, as the applicant just requires a council-authorized development permit. There are no variances associated with this application, and as well, the land use is consistent with the existing zoning. The subject property is located in the downtown, of course, near the corner of Lawrence Avenue and Ellis Street, just to the west of the city-owned parking lot, as shown on the photograph. The existing building will be removed in order to facilitate the construction of a new commercial building. And here's a picture of the street view today. The building will be the new home of Castanet offices, which will occupy the majority of the 3 floors and will be the main tenant. The main floor will also have 2 additional leasable commercial units at grade, which will be accessed off of an east courtyard, which I'll show Your Worship on the site plan. There are 3 parking stalls that will be provided off the rear laneway in a garage. The remaining parking will be made up as part of a payment as part of the city's payment in lieu of parking bylaw. The design will include brick and hardy panel siding. The prominent main entry with a granite block framing is a nice amenity along the front entrance to accentuate the front facade. The building massing is sensitive to the neighborhood. It's largely a 2-story building, and while it does have a 3rd story, that 3rd story is sensitively set back, and so making it a sensitive infill into this neighborhood. There's a little bit of additional detailing that you'll see on the illustrations and sections with an illuminated clock and a nice parapet design as well. The site plan that the applicant has submitted is shown here and shows the 3 parking stalls off the rear laneway. On the east side, which would be on the upper side of the site plan, shows the courtyard area where the commercial at-grade units would be oriented off of, and as well there's the main entrance off of Lawrence Avenue. The proposed elevations were included in your council package and just shown here in terms of summary. Again, showing largely the massing of the building being 2 stories in nature, with the 3rd story being a penthouse office, largely set back and likely not visible from many spots along the sidewalk. The landscape plan is relatively simple and straightforward. It does show the courtyard that will be the interface between the city parking lot to the east of the development and the ground-oriented building, the ground-oriented commercial units as part of this new development. The applicant has submitted this project rendering to support the form and character. Again, it's showing the ground-oriented commercial units and the interface between this development and the city parking lot. In looking at the official community plan, Your Worship, this proposal meets many of the policies, including compact urban form. It incorporates public space and a nice interface between the existing city parking lot, and as well as consistent with the urban design DP guidelines in the OCP. As there is no variance or change in land use, this application does not require any public notification. and staff are recommending support of the proposed DP application. Again, it meets the intent of the OCP. There are no variances to the zoning bylaw, and we feel overall that the development will enhance that Lawrence Avenue corridor. That concludes my comments, Your Worship.
Thank you, Terry. Councillor Singh.
Thank you, Your Worship. I agree, Terry. I really do believe this new development will enhance that section of Lawrence Avenue. Look forward to this moving forward. Question though, Terry. You know, the penthouse office, you said, will be set back a little bit. There'll be some room on the rooftop. Any plans for a rooftop garden, any green space, anything like that there?
Your Worship, I don't have a plan to be able to show to council, but the intention is that the rooftop would include basically a common rooftop amenity that would be common space for all the tenants in the building, and that rooftop amenity would largely be hard surfaced in order to allow people out there to be able to enjoy the space. But as shown in this illustration and in conversations with the developer, would include some green space in terms of a little bit of landscaping and a couple small trees.
I just thought I'd ask that question before Councillor Hodge does.
Councillor DeHart.
Oh, I beat Councillor Hodge. Anyway, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say, you know, we've been looking at that empty lot downtown for I don't know how many years. It's a real eyesore. And I know all of us have had questions. When is that going to be developed? When is, Ellison Lawrence going to be developed? Well, here we go today with a very beautiful development with the courtyard. And I just wanted to say I'm really excited about, I think they really did a good job of infilling, the staff and the applicant. And sorry to see, I know Councillor Stack's going to be sorry to see his barbershop go, but I did tell him that it's moved to Pandosi, and I had it in the column, which he didn't read, but now he knows where to go. But anyway, yeah, a little slap there. Anyway, really happy to see this, and good on everyone. Thank you.
Councillor Stack.
Thanks, Your Worship. I just want to say I'm particularly pleased with this design, with the opening of some retail outlets on the east side of the property toward the parking lot. For me, this is the perfect type of infill, because not only are we putting a beautiful new structure, which is complementary to our downtown design, it's also expanding some of the retail walkability of the area, and I think that is just nothing but good. So in overall, I'd say this is another vote of confidence for downtown Kelowna, and I'm very encouraged to see this development going ahead.
Thank you, Councillor Stack. Councillor Given.
Thank you. My comments would be very similar. I too appreciated that there would be CRUs opening onto the parking lot. It does definitely enhance the area. And I think the handsome nature of the building actually could inspire additional upgrades to occur on other areas of Lawrence Avenue. So I think it's not just the building for the building, but I think it could inspire additional investment in the area. I think it's a nice addition. Thank you.
Councillor Gray.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think this is great to see a development happening here. A lot of the downtown development has been to the north of Bernard, so it's nice to see some development happening on this side. I was happy to see in the notes, actually, that there was information that somehow there was going to be an incorporation of the history of the site into some of the design elements and maybe some of the information, so that's good. The only comment I wanted to make was that when I was looking at the zoning requirements, and I know that we're looking at the development application right now, but the proposal is far less what the maximum height could have been, and so it makes me wonder whether or not we're underdeveloping this site. And I know it's all based on economics and based on a lot of factors, but that's the one thing that I looked at, is that maybe we do want to have development and densification, and in fact we might be underdeveloping what could potentially be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further comments, I would echo the comments of my council colleagues. I would like to thank the applicant for investing in our downtown and continuing with the revitalization that we've seen. And again, just more exciting times for the revitalization of downtown Kelowna. So that being said, is there a mover of the recommendation? Moved by Councillor DeHart, seconded by Councillor Singh. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.